Datça is a prime example of the combination of pretty seaside town, clean beaches, and ancient historical site, for which Turkey's south coast is rightly famous. And you could have guessed this by looking at a map. The town is located halfway along a thin peninsula that is the official dividing line between the Aegean Sea and the rest of the Mediterranean. And this unique geography has drawn attention since the beginning of time. Indeed, at the far end of the peninsula are the dramatic remains of Knidos, one of the most important Greco-Roman cities of the classical age. More recently, Turkish and foreign tourists have flocked to the area's many picture-perfect beaches and quaint seaside towns, which are firmly and deservedly on the region's famous blue cruise circuit with various boating options. Please watch the rest of our video. Let us know what you think, if there is anywhere else you want us to cover, and if you need help planning a trip or move to Turkey, let us know in the comments. The name Datça has evolved from Stadia, a peripheral town outside ancient Knidos, which became Tadia, then Dadya, then Dadja, then Datça over the years, after being mispronounced by generations of foreign occupiers. The people who lived here from around 2000 BC did so under the influence of various local superpowers and trading partners. One of the classical world's foremost centers of commerce and culture was the city of Knidos, partially thanks to its prime location for trade, particularly in wine, olive oil, and later also fine art, making it one of the Mediterranean's most celebrated cities for centuries. The city's statue of Aphrodite drew visitors and pilgrims from across the Hellenic world, while Eudoxus, one of the world's first known astronomers, built an early observatory in around 350 BC. Around 100 years later, his fellow Cnidian, Sostratus, designed and built the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Like much of the region, the city was first allied with and then swallowed by the Roman Empire, under which it was granted an unusual degree of autonomy as a sign of goodwill. Under the Byzantines, Knidos also became a bishopric and center of Christianity. But changing trade routes and the decline of the Byzantine Empire meant Knidos gradually lost its importance, and its people spread out across the rest of the peninsula in search of a simpler existence, many manning fishing boats in Stadia, today's Datça. By the time the Ottomans took over the area in the 1300s, Knidos was already deserted, although nearby Datça found a new importance as a strategic coastal town with a strong shipbuilding industry. The ruins of Knidos were discovered in 1812, excavated in 1858, and have since been lovingly restored and opened to the public as a national heritage site and unlikely nightlife hotspot. In the early 20th century, Datça was renamed Rashadiye after the penultimate Ottoman Sultan, Mehmet V Rashad, although the name didn't stick. Tourists started arriving in the 1990s, and the town hasn't looked back, despite managing to retain much of its old-world seaside charm. Datça's tiny town centre is good for a few days of drinking and eating, sporting several beachfront fish restaurants and meyhanes. Most of the town centre is arranged around Kumluk Plage, but for a more tranquil experience venture further to Tashlik Plage or Datça Plage, past the latter of which is the remains of a Byzantine church. Just a few kilometers inland is Eski Datça or Old Datça, where the original stone houses of an ancient village have recently been bought up, beautified, and turned into something of a culinary and architectural theme park. Traditional architecture, bougainvillea, and narrow cobblestone streets lead you to Kızlan village, which boasts well-preserved Ottoman-era houses, boutique shops, cozy cafes, and some of the best restaurants in the area. About halfway along the peninsula, between Datça and the ruins of Knidos, is Palamut Plage, an idyllic pebble beach with clear turquoise waters and tranquil natural beauty. At the far end of the peninsula, and best reached by taxi from Palamut Plage, is the main historical attraction of the area, the ruined classical city of Knidos, which is conveniently open until 8 p.m, when buses take the last tourists back to Datça, allowing time to drink a bottle of wine on the ruins as the sun sets, which is surprisingly okay with the authorities. Assuming you have time for more than sundowners, the main sites are the Temple of Aphrodite, the 5,000-seat amphitheater, the round altar, and the Agora or central marketplace. 2 huge harbors and some massive sections of city wall offer a glimpse into Knidos' past strategic and commercial importance. One of the best ways to soak up most of what's awesome about Datça at once is to hire a boat by the harbor or join one of many organized tours, most of which will take you on a very scenic tour south, stopping at 4 or 5 largely deserted coves. Hiring a boat for up to 12 people for one day or around 7 hours should cost around $370 with a hearty lunch included. However you get to Datça, you'll have to pass through one of 2 heavyweights of Turkish tourism, Bodrum and Marmaris, each of which would be a good place to make a stop if you have time, and for both of which we have made separate videos. The easiest way of reaching Datça is to fly or get a bus to Bodrum, then take a ferry from the waterfront in the center of town. The boat leaves several times a day, costs around $25 return, takes just under 2 hours, and drops you at the Datça ferry terminal, from which there is a free service bus to the center. Another option is to fly to Dalaman Airport, then take a 90-minute bus to Marmaris, then a 2-hour bus to Datça. For foodies, Datça is famous for its almonds, for which locals craft all manner of goodies, most notably bademli helva, basically a wonderful fusion of traditional tahini helva and marzipan. In Datça, for dinner, hit up the simultaneously fancy and football-themed Maradona restaurant. The best food, however, is probably to be had in Eski Datça, where you should head to Zada Meyhane for dinner, if you can run the gauntlet of almond desserts and ice cream stands without ruining your appetite. We are happy to recommend Bademli Hotel, a short walk from the beach and center of town with charming rooms, helpful staff, and an epic breakfast included. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or if you need help moving to or traveling in Turkey, let us know in the comments. We have also created a set of ESL exercises and activities in case you want to use this video to teach or learn English.